All right, listen, before we jump in, I want to say something to my dudes who are watching this, all right? Dudes, wherever you are, can you just raise your hand right now? My boys. Okay, now listen. I know we're in a series talking about emotions and feelings, and you probably don't want to do that. You would probably much rather play Fortnite than talk about your feelings. But let's talk about the feelings you feel when you play Fortnite, because I know your parents hear you yelling in your bedroom when you're playing Fortnite, right? Like, it's a rush of emotions. You're happy, you're excited, you're scared, you're nervous, you're angry, you're mad. I can't believe I died in Fortnite, right? It's a roller coaster of emotions. And sometimes we feel like, we've got to be too tough to feel emotions. But I just want to let you in on a little something, my dudes. You're not too tough to feel emotions. And that's a good thing. In fact, I want to make you a promise, okay? This is Joe's promise for today. If you take time today to share about how you really, really feel, you will be glad you did, and you'll be better for it. So let's get into it. Now, have you ever had a moment in your life where your feelings didn't match the situation that you were in? Okay, I know I've been there. I love playing drums. I've been playing drums ever since I was in middle school. It's one of my favorite things to do. And when I was in high school, I got the chance to finally start playing on our high school ministry worship team. Now, you would think, because I love the drums, that I would be so excited to play every time I got scheduled, but something weird happened. Instead of being really excited on the days that I would start playing, I would be filled with nervousness, anxiety, and worry every day that I was playing. In fact, I couldn't even eat dinner before I would go out to play because I would be so sick to my stomach and so nervous that I couldn't even eat. Guys, why don't feelings make sense? Make it make sense. Sometimes when this happens, we become confused, ashamed, or afraid of our feelings. I know I was confused. I couldn't figure out why I was so nervous instead of excited. And I felt like I had to pretend to be excited because I should have been. Everything was telling me that I should have been excited. But instead I was just filled with nervousness and anxiety, and I was sick to my stomach. Have you ever felt like you had to hide your real feelings from people? Maybe you pretend you're a happy person because everybody expects you to be this happy-go-lucky person, but in reality, you actually feel angry or afraid or confused or anxious or worried or overwhelmed or lonely. If you've ever been there, or even if you're there right now, I have some good news for you today, okay? You don't need to pretend. Sometimes we feel like we have to put on this mask of happiness to hide how we're really feeling, but you don't have to put on a happy mask. You can be real about how you feel. You can be real because Jesus understands. There's this really cool passage in the book of Hebrews towards the end of the Bible. And in chapter 4 of that book, it starts talking about Jesus, and it says something crazy. It says something really, really crazy about Jesus. And so I want us to actually look at this together. In verse 14, this is what the book of Hebrews says about Jesus. So then, since we have a great high priest who has entered heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to what we believe. This high priest of ours understands our weaknesses, for he faced all of the same testings we do, yet he did not sin. Did you guys catch that? Jesus, that's the great high priest that they're talking about. Jesus has faced and felt everything that you and I will face and feel. There's no surprises with Jesus. He understands it all. In fact, there's lots of examples in the Bible of Jesus feeling many of the things that we feel. In fact, Jesus, he got angry. There was a day in the temple where people were being taken advantage of, where they were going to worship and pray and talk to God and get closer to God, and they were being taken advantage of. And Jesus got angry and he flipped tables and he drove people out. Jesus felt rejection. There were times where Jesus shared some hard truths, and a lot of people who were listening walked away. They're like, we can't follow this Jesus. Jesus felt rejection. Jesus was made fun of. You ever been made fun of? Jesus, the Son of God, was made fun of. When he was on the cross, people were mocking him and saying, man, if he's really God, if he's really the Son of God, why isn't he doing anything? He was made fun of. Jesus felt anxiety. Jesus felt worry. Jesus felt fear. The night before he was gonna die, it says that Jesus was overwhelmed with anxiety. Jesus felt grief. One day, Jesus lost one of his close friends named Lazarus. And it says that when Jesus heard that he had died, he wept. He felt grief. He cried. Jesus had people he loved who let him down. Peter, one of his closest followers, who said, "I will never betray you. I will never turn my back on you, Jesus." One day, Peter would deny that he even knew Jesus. He let him down. Jesus had moments where he felt abandoned. You know, one of the last things Jesus said on the cross before he died was, "God, why have you abandoned me in this moment?" He felt abandoned by God. He felt abandoned by his followers. He felt abandoned by his friends. Guys, Jesus understands everything that you and I feel. And so we don't have to be afraid of it. We don't have to be ashamed of it. We can go to God because we know that he, more than anyone else we know, understands. But here's the crazy thing. He doesn't just understand. It also says in the Bible that he's with you in everything you feel. He's with you in every moment. In Psalm 139, which is a psalm that we really like to read around here, you'll probably hear us read from it from time to time. This is a part of the psalm that we don't often read, and so I want to share it with you guys. Psalm 139, verses 7 through 12, it says, "I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you are there. If I go down to the grave, you are there. If I ride the wings of the morning, if I dwell by the farthest oceans, even there your hand will guide me, and your strength will support me. I could ask the darkness to hide me and the light around me to become night, but even in darkness, I cannot hide from you. To you, the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are the same to you." David, who's writing this psalm, is saying in this moment that no matter where I go, no matter what I go through, no matter what I experience, God, you're with me. And I need you to hear that God shows up and is with you in every feeling and every moment that you will ever experience. He will never abandon you. He will never forget about you or let you down. Some people feel like God is far away. Some people feel like God has forgotten about them. Like God doesn't care about what happens in their life. Like God is distant. He's uninvolved. But this psalm is saying something very different. It is saying that God is with you. He's active in your life. He wants to be involved in your life. And he wants you to go to him when you're feeling these big feelings that you don't know what to do with. David, who wrote this psalm, he knew deep down that this was true. And it's what got him through every difficult or confusing moment in his life. And so Collide, here's my challenge to you. Let's put down the mask. Let's stop pretending we're happy when we're not. We don't have to pretend with each other. We don't have to pretend with God because he understands and he's with us no matter what we're feeling. And so this week, I want you to think about, who do you need to talk to about how you really feel? Do you need to talk to God? Do you need to talk to your parents, your small group leaders? Start there and remember that God shows up and is with you in every feeling and every moment that you experience. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.